yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay, awesome, awesome.
I'm speaking at another event tonight, too, so.
He is, but he's going to hang out with us for another minute. Thank you so
Yes.
much. So,
Oh, read, watch, and listen.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'll sit back down.
Okay, sit back down.
I mean, mine are probably not as profound as some that you've already been going
Stop.
over.
I thought you guys are going to
All right.
find out in just a minute. So the book that you recommended was Evidence That Demands a Verdict.
Okay, Evidence That Demands a Verdict by Josh McDowell is the book that turned my life and my wife's life around. You know, I was basically not an agnostic, I wouldn't say, but I was an indifferent kind of person about religion. And didn't really care about religion. But we read this book, Evidence That Demands a Verdict, and it flipped on my light switch that made me consider things, you know. I mean, Debbie went all in, and I just kind of put my toes in the water, you know. But it was a life-changing book, as far as something that I'll never forget. But I know one of the books that taught me to write, when I'd never written a book, and obviously hadn't read that many either. So someone recommended that I read West with the Night by Burl Markham. She wrote one book in the 1940s, and it's one of the most beautiful pieces of literature I've ever read. It taught me how to string together sentences and how to describe things so beautifully that you feel like that you are there. And I never reached the master level that she did, but it's a beautiful, beautiful work of literature. West with the Night. It's about her life growing up in Africa as an English woman she was birthed in Africa. Her father went there to become a businessman, and she became the first bush pilot flying airplanes back in the 1920s. In Africa, and then in the 1940s, she flew from London to New York City in a twin-engine plane, first person to fly that direction nonstop. So,
wow.
But it's fascinating
Wow,
work.
thank you. You gave us two. I appreciate that. And Ron, what's your watch?
What do I watch? I think same kind of different as me
I think
movie.
that's awesome. Absolutely. Everybody
I've
should
seen
see
it
that.
more than probably 25 times.
Do you
and
get
I never
something
get
different
tired
every
of it.
time?
And I cry every time I see it, yes.
Oh, that's so sweet. And then your listen is Andrea Bocelli?
Well, I listen because I like to cook Italian food, and it makes the food taste better if I'm listening to Andrea Bocelli.
Can't wait to try that.
Yes.
I believe you. I just
and it's
believe
a funny
you.
thing, we were invited to Denver. I took my homeless friend Denver to George Bush's second inauguration. And Andrea Bocelli, he was my date to the inaugural ball in Denver.
So sweet.
That was another story. But when he asked me, we're sitting there on the front row on the White House lawn, and Andrea Bocelli is singing this song in Italian. And Denver asked me, he said, now why would the President of the United States let that man get up there and sing something that nobody knows what he's saying? He could be talking bad about the president and he don't know.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Very cool.
But anyway, I love Bocelli, and I like to listen to him because it makes my Italian cooking taste better.
I can't wait to try that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I want to tell you one more thing. We were talking about the magic of the conference and the things that have happened. I over-ordered food. Here's the magic part. I had a caterer who wasn't able to get our food less than 2 weeks out of an event like this. And I was able to find someone else from Seven Loaves Catering. She's my little catering angel. So we decided how much food to get. And I realized yesterday that I had ordered way too much. And so we had a lot of extra, but I knew that I owed her that, you know, it's from a business transaction. But I knew that meant there was a lot of food that they were producing and putting time into, and I knew I didn't want it to be wasted. And I said, you know, all I said was, you know, we can lighten the load a little bit for what you need to deliver here, but I know I'm still responsible for it. And what she said, and this is why she's my catering angel, this is why she was the right person for the job, she said, we have the food, and we should donate it to someone, because that's what you guys are all about.
Yeah.
So they have donated it to Union Gospel Mission in Fort Worth. Yeah.
That's Let me tell you that because of that Union Gospel Mission, that's where we met Denver when he was
Right.
threatening to kill everybody in the room, and the first time we laid eyes on him. And so Denver, 4 years after Debbie died in 2000, Denver and I, by that time, had raised $13.5 million to build a new mission there. And so Denver was named the Philanthropist of the Year for the city of Fort Worth. And so he was at this was at the big hotel downtown, the
Worthington?
Worthington Hotel, in the Grand Ballroom. There's almost 1,000 people there. And he stands up to receive his reward, he called it. He got him a reward. And so as he was receiving his reward, he told the people, he said he used to sleep on the sidewalk out there where the hot air would blow up through the grates in the wintertime to keep him from freezing to death. And he said, you know, a lot of people used to think I was trash on y'all's streets out here and calling the mayor. Well, that was me. I used to call the mayor and say, please get this trash off our streets, this homeless trash.
Wow.
And he said, but I'm going to tell y'all something. Do y'all know that God's in the recycling business and he can turn trash into a treasure?
Oh, what
So,
a beautiful
anyway.
story to leave on. Thank you so much. Please join me in thanking Ron Hall
Yeah.
for joining us.
Thank you.